How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sundays, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is Fun Friday here on the show. That's the idea, at least. As I look around the world and the wrestling world, well, there's not a lot of fun going on, to be honest, but we're going to do our best here today and talk about everything. We got a lot of bad news, but we got some good news as well. So we're going to try and get into that. Black Bart, condolences to his family, passed away Thursday after a battle with cancer. His wife Linda announced, you might know him as Black Bart, but to me, he was my husband Ricky. Left us this morning. He was pronounced dead. 5:26 this morning, he is resting in peace. 30-year pro announces cancer diagnosis in 2023. It spread to his liver, and he reported in December that he had ceased chemotherapy treatment, quote, was ready to meet his maker. He got the 2024 Cauliflower Alley Club Courage Award, accepted on his behalf by former student JBL. And all the best to the friends and family of Black Bart. And on the full other end of the spectrum, congratulations to Ronda Rousey and Travis Browne, who just gave birth to their second child. Ronda Rousey gave birth yesterday. She said, our little girl came into this world during a windstorm into a city on fire. Grateful she made it safe and sound. So best wishes to her and Travis Browne on their second child. So a lot of other news to get into here today. We'll take some phone calls, perhaps, and your text messages, emails, and more. The text message line, 425-780-7566. F4WOnline@gmail.com is the email. F4WOnline, Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. I'm at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. Back in a moment with more Observer Live. Back here on the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Hey, Chad, is everything sounding all right? Studio said it's fine, but I had people texting saying it was all scratchy.
Tinny?
No, not tinny. I heard scratchy.
Oh.
Yes, everyone says it sounds fine on there, so I don't know. It's a mystery. After being found, let's get all the bad news. Let's talk about... Let's get Vince out of the way first. After being found in violation of failing to disclose previous settlement agreements to the WWE board, Vince McMahon has agreed to a settlement with the SEC. He will pay a $400,000 civil penalty, reimburse WWE $1.33 million after the SEC found he violated the Securities Exchange Act. I certainly hope he can afford that.
Yeah, really.
By not disclosing the agreements to WWE's board of directors, legal department, accountants, financial reporting personnel, or auditor, it circumvented WWE's system of internal accounting controls, caused material misstatements in WWE's 2018 and 2021 financial statements. He was executive chairman of the board, CEO at the time. They merged with UFC in September to create TKO. He was chairman until January 2024, after Janelle Grant sued him, John Laurinaitis, and WWE. That lawsuit still ongoing. The lawsuit, he released, this is a statement from Vince regarding this. The case is closed. Today ends nearly 3 years of investigation by different governmental agencies. There's been a great deal of speculation about what exactly the government was investigating and what the outcome would be. As today's resolution shows, much of that speculation was misguided and misleading. In the end, there was never anything more to this than minor accounting errors with regard to some personal payments that I made several years ago while I was CEO of WWE. I am thrilled I can now put this behind me. So he's claiming like the federal investigation into Vince McMahon was all about SEC violations and it's all gone now, which it might be. I don't know. That's what he claims. So I'm sure we will hear more soon.
That's why the Southern District of New York asked for a 6-month stay in the Janelle Grant lawsuit, was just to look over that one NDA for 6 months in in conjunction with all of the other ones that they knew about, and that's why they had to stay. That's basically what Vince McMahon, I guess, is trying to say right there, but we shall see if anything comes out more about that later on. But there certainly is that whole other case, the Janelle Grant one with John Laurinaitis and WWE, that he's got to deal with. So I guess he can, in his mind and in his world, walk tall and mighty for one day as if he somehow defeated the federal government. But there's going to be a lot more to come from this. Like, some things are coming up from Bryan's throat right now.
Nope, I'm fine. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Everything's
Sorry.
good.
All right.
Want to wish the best to everyone in L.A. Taya Valkyrie is working to help the community. Wednesday night, she shared that she and husband Johnny TV have been evacuated from their home due to the fires, but were safe. Tweeted a follow-up message yesterday thanking everyone who checked in on them. Their house was saved. They are now focused on trying to help others. She says, thank you for everyone who has messaged me and checked in. Our house was saved. Now just trying to take care of our neighborhood and community. It's not over yet. We're extremely lucky. Sunset Fire was pure insanity. Pray for L.A., those who have lost it all, and do what you can to help them and the first responders. I love this city. It's my home, my happy place. She will be appearing at an event at The Wild in West Hollywood for a RuPaul Drag Race viewing party. Valkyrie and others associated with the event have been working to gather water, granola bars, socks, underwear, feminine hygiene products, toothbrushes, toothpaste, dog food, which they will be handing out for free. That is tonight. Thanked Chelsea Green for donating. They'll be accepting donations for the American Red Cross at the West Hollywood event tonight. Bailey also shared a list of resources for any fans looking to help, has donated to the Pasadena Humane Animal Shelter. Lots of animals greatly affected by this as well. A lot of burnt animals that are being cared for. So, all the best to everybody down there. It looks like the winds have died down today, so that's at least some good news. We have got the latest on Malakai Black from The Observer. He says that there was a lot of talk in the past 2 days about Malakai. Word backstage was that he was gone, although in trying to confirm it, nobody would say anything. That sounds very familiar. Been reported elsewhere. One person close to the situation said they were confirming it to us, but when we asked officially, there was neither a confirmation nor a denial. Nobody expects him back. There was also talk from WWE that he was expected there when his contract expires. It's been the case for a while. Evidently, there's been talk in WWE creative about him of late. So I would say that this comes as no surprise. And we should also mention that there was a match he had a few weeks ago. Who was that with?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the long.
Somebody
goodbye.
help me out here. Yeah, they did like basically a goodbye, and it was so bizarre. It was like, this is the last we're going to see of this guy, and then he went online and was like, I don't know why these rumors come about.
Adam Cole, baby.
It was Adam Cole. That's right. Not leaving, and then he actually worked the Collision the following Saturday, and then I think he's been gone since Full Gear, which I believe was November. And looks like it appears, certainly the belief internally is that he's gone. And in this case, I mean, it's been rumored since Wednesday, and there has been no post from Malakai Black saying, why do people come up with these rumors? I'm not leaving. So I believe he is gone. We shall see.
Remember that tag team match he had? It was him and Brody King against like Commander and somebody, Gravity, I think it was.
Oh, yes.
The worst match in Collision history.
Horrific match.
I hate to say this. Is that the most notable thing that he did while he was there?
Well, I got subscribers on X, and I did a Q&A exclusively for them yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you're a subscriber, you can always participate in those. I do at least one a week. And one person asked, like, with Malakai likely gone, what would you say was his best match? And the thing is, like, I'm not mad at the guy. I have to explain this on a regular basis. In fact, there was a guy on Twitter that was like, my dream is to be able to interview Bryan Alvarez. And I read that. I was like, I'll do your show. But then he had a list of things he wanted to ask me about. And, like, one of them was, I want to find out his favorite match of all time. I want to find out. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, sorry, brother. I mean, if you take that off the list, that's fine. That is the worst question you could ask me is name your favorite X. Name the best X that somebody had. It's like, dude, how many matches have I watched in my life? I mean, how many matches do I watch on a weekly basis? How many hours of wrestling do I watch? Like, I cannot for the life of me. I mean, seriously, if you put a gun to my head, like, it's curtains. I could not tell you 10 things Malakai Black did off the top of my head. If you want to give me maybe a list, I could say, oh, yeah, you know what? I remember that one. That one was, like, probably the best. But, like, asking me, okay, right now, off the top of your head, what is the most notable thing Malakai Black did in AEW? It's like, I have no idea. I couldn't even do it for, like, Bryan Danielson or Will Ospreay or anything. It's like, there's just too many things. I see too many things. I mean,
I can usually remember one really important moment or match or something like that, and it usually goes back to my youth, but, like, sometimes there's one that stands out. And with Malakai Black, I think of all, the things that he did. I think there was a blood drop and things like that. But, like, that match being that bad actually sticks out as, like, the legacy of Malakai Black in AEW other than
but see, that's not fair.
It's not fair.
I would say it's not fair because it was it was nobody on the House of Black's fault.
I know,
they did everything they could to try to hold that match together.
But when he was used so sparingly and the things didn't make as much of an impact and AEW was not making as much of an impact, unfortunately, as a fan, sometimes if one thing's going to stick out, it's the wackiest thing.
All right, back in a moment with more. Get ready to call or text. We need some content on Fun Friday. We got to think of something fun. Give me an idea. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Back in a moment, Observer Live. I think that guy who predicted the robots were going to take over, I think he's somehow right.
I know it.
Because, so I had somebody telling me that my audio sucked. And then I asked the chat, and they're like, no, it's fine. And then, I realized that the chat, the Twitch and YouTube are not getting they're going straight from the studio. So they don't hear anything weird. But transmitting to Byline, apparently that connection, I don't sound good. I'm all scratchy and whatever. But somehow you do. Which makes no sense because you're coming to me and I'm transmitting both of us to Byline.
I sound what? I sound
fine? You sound like everything is normal, but I sound like something is wrong with the connection. So how is that even possible since I'm sending both of us through the same connection?
Let me ask you this. Do you think that the guy that said, you sound terrible, like...
No, he wasn't talking about that. I know who it is.
Okay.
He'd tell me if I sounded terrible.
I was going to say, he wasn't talking about your content, right?
No.
He meant your voice.
He usually says that about your content.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now,
wait a second.
I reconnected, so we'll see if it does any good. But
no coffee for that, man.
This person also says, serious question, and I lost it. Is Miro still with AEW? Okay, listen. As far as I know, Miro and Ricky Starks are both still employed, and Britt Baker. Like all of the people who have just vanished,
Wardlow
are all Wardlow. They're all still employed by AEW. And at this point, Malakai may or may not be as well. I don't know. But I do know that if that's your question, like, where is Miro still? Yeah, he's still being paid. Britt's still being paid. Ricky Stark's still being paid. Wardlow's still being paid.
Samoa Joe still filming that movie?
Dude, is that like a 10-part series or something like that? Like, where is this guy? But, actually, the thing with Joe is I'm pretty sure he's done. But there was somebody else that was off doing something in AEW. I forget who it was. Well, and they took a long time to bring him back because they were waiting for, like, the right time, even though they were available for a while. So I presume... Actually, well, I'm going to make a bold prediction right here.
All right.
Okay? I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Let's hear it.
I predict Samoa Joe will be back this week.
Ooh.
That's my bold prediction.
Oh, because I was actually thinking, if you do it, because he's been gone for so long anyway.
Yeti Pot Pie figured it out. Good job, brother.
Well, in March, Los Angeles, you got that big show coming there, so maybe, okay, you bring him back now. You do have Australia that's going to be in the way in February, but, That's going to be your first big show here in the States this year is going to be Los Angeles. The Young Bucks, you got to figure they're going to be there, but L.A. is Samoa Joe's town. So him being back in the mix, boy, on paper, they have so much talent, it's not even funny. And if they can actually just right the ship, it would be amazing. It would be nice. Buddy Matthews, yes? What's the matter?
Just the camera's on me while you're talking. There we go. Okay.
Buddy Matthews, one of those guys that people
Fun Friday
to see do something, and I'd like to see him do something. That would be a fun Wednesday for me to actually watch him. Maybe on Saturday as well too. But there's a lot of people though that are not there for whatever reason. When do they break out Nyla Rose every once in a while? Stokely Hathaway has disappeared. Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho are going to raise their child until he's ready to go to school, and then they will be back.
Well, at least there's a reason for them being gone,
I guess.
But I mean, there's just a lot of people that are just gone.
You go out of sight, out of mind there. And you know who actually is not out of sight, out of mind, because he apparently wrestles a lot in dark matches, but remember when Alex Reynolds was a thing?
No.
And the death.
I remember when he was in the Dark Order.
Well, okay, touche.
I mean that with all due respect, but I do not remember when he was a thing in AEW. I'm sorry.
Touche, but he was one of those guys when Kenny Omega had the great match with him that it's like, okay, here's a guy that like you want to build up. This is somebody that you want to put through your system. So 5 years from now, Alex Reynolds might be in the semi-main events or the main events or something like that. And he's just floundered. He hasn't done anything. And I thought when he got laid out by the Dark Order one week, it's like, you know what? They could use maybe another Kidman, like, to their, like, little flock.
This person thinks you're confusing Alex Reynolds with Alan Angels.
No. Alex Reynolds. Was that who Omega had the match with? I thought Alex Reynolds was the guy, though, that, like, he was going to be, like, the guy who actually from that group could be something. And he's just disappeared altogether. He's gone. So, I don't know. It's amazing how many talented people they have that are just, again, spinning wheels. Not the least of which is Ricky Starks, who I guess is a foot out the door anyway.
I just got an email from Netflix, which literally said, "Enjoying Raw, ? Either way, let us know." So it's given me the option of a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, what is that about? I noticed.
Well, 2 thumbs up means you really like something, bro.
Okay.
2's
double thumbs up. Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Why can't I give 2 thumbs down?
I really have to explain that?
Why can't I give 2 thumbs down then?
Because who would possibly give that 3-hour Raw 2 thumbs down? Let's look at some of the text messages here. Then we'll go back to some more news. Next, be ready, because the next segment I'm opening up the phone lines and the international web browser line.
Fun Friday,
which is such a lame name for a line, but that's the one I'm going with. The International Web Browser Line. If you are international, or you just want to call in through your web browser, I'm going to tell you how to do it.
If you have enough AOL minutes left.
I come back from the break. Let's see here. For the it's a technical thing here.
Oh.
Mike has always been way lower in the mix. Well, he's about 9 feet away from his mic, which never helps.
What are you talking about? I'm attacking this mic right now.
You're attacking it? Looks like it's attacking you. Malakai gave us Julia Hart. That's his legacy.
No,
I don't think he gave us Julia Hart.
No, I don't.
And I would not count that as his legacy.
So what? She was there as a cheerleader long before him. He apparently shot her with an arrow, which apparently is something that person likes.
This person here wants to be a guest on After Dark. Well, hopefully we can run After Dark after all the technical issues we had on Wednesday.
Really?
Somebody was trying to knock us off the air, I think. But I need more info. Like, who are you? What do you talk about?
Yeah.
I can't look it up right now. I'm on the air. Send me more info. We'll talk.
Why don't you call?
I'm booked through April, though, is the problem.
Oh, yeah?
We got a lot of guests coming up. Yeah. Oh. This person here says, I first saw Black Bart in Mid-South in 1983. He was introduced as Hangman Rick Harris, managed by Skandar Akbar. In 86, he was the WCCW World Champion and came to ringside on horseback. Probably has the world record for saying "dadgum" during a wrestling promo. That for sure he has.
Yes.
I don't even think that's an argument. He was great in countless ways. That is Steven in Atlanta.
He was a big old cartoon character.
Dadgum.
Dusty loved him. I remember seeing him, he was in Mid-Atlantic as Ricky Harris, then got his break going down there in Mid-South, actually trying to make something. And then in Florida, Dusty teamed him up with Outlaw Ron Bass and J.J. Dillon, and they were his long riders. And when Dusty took everything he could from Florida and brought it up when he started booking Mid-Atlantic, Black Bart was right there. And I think the last Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champion, he put that one to bed. He put the national title to bed, and the Mid-Atlantic title, he was almost the last holder of that too. So he was like the who was it? The Jefferson Darcy of sitcoms. You know, if he entered your show, Ted McGinley or whatever his name was, if he ended up on your show, like the show would die. Well, that's what happened with the titles. As soon as Black Bart got to one, that would be it.
This person here says, for the prediction contest next year, I think a poll in the chat would be better. There are a lot of normal people that don't talk in the chat, but would be willing to vote in the poll. Well, I do think that, here's the thing, okay?
Chat sociology.
I listen to the prediction show the night before every year, okay? And I think, here's what I'm going to do next year. If we have multiple people that got a prediction correct, which we never do. There's only like 2 or 3. I'm going to just try to decide, okay, which one is the obvious winner. If it's close, and arguably it was close this year, okay? If it's close, I do think that we should do a poll either in the YouTube chat or the Twitch chat. Because then I know we are doing a poll only for people who are listening to the show. So, you know, the other option is I always read last year's predictions at the end of the show. We could do a deal where the show will open with last year's predictions. Then you guys have a half hour to vote while I take calls for the current predictions. So you live and learn. And yes, this person says Kenny Omega has never wrestled Alex Reynolds. Well, you were thinking of Alan Angels.
Not Alan Angels. No, I know who Alan Angels is, but I remember Alex Reynolds was being one of the young guys there. And again, considering that the group that they had where, again, he was going to be their standout. Like Lee Moriarty was going to be Shane Taylor's standout. And for the Blackpool Combat Club, it was Yuta. And for Daniel Garcia, you know, again, guys were linked up with different people to try to help them and break them out. And unfortunately, really, none of those guys have broken out. They're trying right now with Daniel Garcia, and that's good. But they have so much talent there. Again, when you put it on a piece of paper, if they could ever move these puzzle pieces together, it'll be great. And by the way, what the hell happened to Jake Roberts and Roosh and Dralistico?
I don't have any idea. They're just waiting their turn. We're going to head to a break, everybody. When we come back, text messages and phone calls. If you want to text us, 425-780-7566. I will give all the phone numbers after the break. So stick around. Wrestling Observer Live. Oh, man. So much stuff going on. So, yes, Jake Roberts did have pneumonia. That is true. But I don't know why that means that, like, the entire... Like, they all have to be off TV because he's gone. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Why would they all have to be off TV because Jake is gone?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. And then someone said Roosh was suspended, but I have not heard that story. So, whatever story you heard, let me know. I mean, I think they did a storyline suspension like 2 years ago, but I didn't hear anything about him being suspended now. And as far as Britt goes... I don't know what's going on, but I do know that it has nothing to do with that deal where Serena Deeb came out and she screamed, "Nobody cares." I was told that had nothing to do with whatever's going on, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, that certainly didn't help Serena Deeb, considering that match never ended up happening, and we haven't seen Serena Deeb since. I'm sure she'll be in the gauntlet coming up here, but actually, who knows if she...
Yeah, did Serena get taken off TV because she was told nobody cares? I don't think
Apparently.
so. Person wants to know any update on Marco Stunt. Yeah, he's still a creep. He's still short.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily he's retired because after he trolled the prediction show, I was ready to come out of
I
retirement.
bet you he's got
I would
family
come out of
members-
retirement to beat him one more time.
Family members.
I
in
never
the
had so
hills
much
that
fun.
are Colored blue.
And it only went wrong when his idiot father got involved. Yeah.
Reprehensible people.
No, they are reprehensible people. Don't get me wrong. All right, if you want to call us here today, here is the phone number. I already don't have it. I thought I copied and pasted onto this thing. God.
Fun Friday.
All right, here's the number. 618-762-3275.
What's that area code?
618-762-3275, or you can just dial 618-762-DARK. Now, if you are international, you don't have to call a phone number. You can go through your web browser, and you're going to go to callinstudio.com/show/WOL. That is callinstudio.com/show/WOL. And we'll take some calls here and some text messages as well. And that's the plan for today.
If you're an older person, though, and you have a landline and you're international and you want to call on the phone, can you still do that?
I mean, you can pay the money if you want. Why would you do that? I'm trying to make this easy for everybody.
All right.
Why would I try to make it harder?
I don't know. Why are you trying to limit your calls?
I'm not limiting the calls. I'm making the calls available to everybody. You can call on the phone if you're in this country, or you can call through a web browser if you're anywhere in the universe that has the World Wide Web.
You made it sound like international could only call through the web browser.
No, they can call any way they want, but why would you pay international long distance when you can go free through a web browser? What are you talking about?
I always just thought east of the Rockies, because that's where I live, like, God's country, East Coast. Like, could I have called the West Coast Art Bell line? Could I have called the west of the... Oh, okay.
You're not allowed.
Okay, well...
Follow the rules, dude.
In this case...
Okay, we got rumors about Roosh and Trilistico,
okay.
so listen. Can you talk about something that's not distracting me, and I'll try and figure out what's going on here?
Oh, okay.
Talk about the Von Erichs signing with AEW.
The Von Erichs have finally signed with AEW, and I don't know if it was Marshall or Ross that I saw with the quote saying, wrestling for us has been an expensive hobby, but now it's going to be a full-time thing, and these are guys who are well into their 30s at this point, and if it wasn't going to be now, it was going to be never, and... Now that they're back relocated in Texas as a family, with Dustin Rhodes being there with his school that he does a great job with and is, by all accounts, pumps out a bunch of people and always has great seminars and all that sort of stuff, them being able to work out there and work out more with him, depending on how much they want to use him in Ring of Honor and on AEW TV, they're going to have a great opportunity to get a lot of reps, and... That's a tag team division that could use some people in it, and I don't know if the Von Erichs can be that thing, but at least they could provide a little bit of a new face if they're actually going to be there full time.
All right, I'm going to get the scoop here for everybody.
That was a lot of vamping, I'm sorry.
In the meantime, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? And what's on your mind? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian and Mike. This is Matthew from a snow-ridden Nashville. Wanted to call in. So, first of all, you alluded to it earlier. What's going on in Los Angeles is truly heartbreaking. Was out there earlier this week, and it's just like a apocalyptic feel almost. So, definitely all the best to them. Wanted to ask, so the Young Bucks just had a match in New Japan over the weekend. Any word on when they might be back in AEW?
Well, I want to thank you very much for the call, and I don't know. They obviously won the IWGP Tag Team titles, so for sure in the meantime, they're going to be defending those in New Japan. And as far as like when they're going to be back, honest to God, I don't even know if there is a plan. I mean, they did the storyline where they went home, and it was really weird because they've been heels, and obviously when they return, if you go by the storyline that had been happening, like they should come back for a feud with Kenny. But the way they did the storyline, when I watched it, it was like, okay, well, they're going to come back to save the company from Jon Moxley. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. No update.
Is Jack Perry with them?
I think. I mean, dude,
Poor Okada, he's right there, right for the pickings.
There's
if
a
Riders
lot
wanted to
going
beat him
on
up.
in terms of some of these storylines. It's like the storyline with Tony Khan when he got beat up, and then the Bucks took over, and then they were in charge, and then they weren't, but they kind of were, and then they weren't, and then they left. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
they've had some missteps.
I don't know. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, y'all. This is Brandon from Portsmouth, Virginia. Happy Fun Friday, and let's have a Fun Friday question here. Your boy, Cale Dixon, what do you think his finishing move should be? You know, is he going to have like a vegetable tray?
It should be
slam or
called,
something
you know what
like
it should be
that?
called? Dixon Stones.
What?
They break bones.
Dixon Stones. Ooh, there you
I
go.
am so underpaid. It's crazy.
Happy
Dixon
Fun Friday, y'all.
Stones.
Thank y'all so much.
I'll break your bones. God.
Love that dude, huh?
It's just a ridiculous name. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's preposterous. Do you hear me? If they don't steal that. I mean, they won't because they just want me to be mad. They're going to call it something so dumb. It'll just be called like the Dixon bomb. You know what I'm saying?
Or they'll try to make it, somehow kind of lewd or something like that.
Okay. All right, so this is what I have determined about. I got some information, okay?
All right.
I want to be very clear about this because I know somebody is going to misreport what I'm saying. This is what I know, okay? There was a match. It looks like it was Rush and Mortos against Richard Holiday and Alec Price on Rampage. And apparently one of the job guys got hurt. And because of, I guess the language barrier, Dralistico didn't know he was actually hurt. And so, they were doing the worked attack on the guy who was actually out. And I want to make this clear. I don't know if they were actually suspended. And I have not heard that they were suspended, but they have not been used since. So that appears to be what happened there.
I think Holiday did I remember him getting hurt at some point. I didn't remember it was that. And the fact that it was on Rampage, nobody saw it. So, there was that. But yeah, I mean, just disappeared altogether. And yeah, there was slight mention of them when it came to Mortos in the Continental Classic, but again, them as a unit just poof, disappeared. Like a lot of people have.
I mean, the thing to me is obviously if somebody's hurt, you got to stop it, okay? But I mean, to be honest in this case, if you're dealing with a wrestler who doesn't speak English and doesn't know, I mean, what are you supposed to do? There should be someone out there. It's like if you see a match, they need someone out there who can translate.
The referee needs to,
not a referee. Get somebody who can be out there to translate. Because the fact of the matter is, if you go and watch matches in Japan, if they have a match with someone who doesn't speak Japanese, they're usually going to have a referee who also speaks English, so that they can help with this. So I don't see the benefit of sending out people who don't speak English and not giving them a manager or a bilingual referee or something, because accidents happen, and somebody's got to be able to tell people what's going on.
Well, and the thing is, too, I mean, that's their fault. Then what about the referee? Does he have any blame in any of this?
Well, I mean kind of, but what's he going to do? I mean, he's going to say, back up, the guy's hurt, but the guy doesn't speak English. The other guy doesn't speak Spanish. He doesn't know what's going on.
But if the guy's that hurt, tackle him like Herb Dean. But to me, if they got suspended and...
Again, I don't know if they're suspended.
Okay,
They just haven't been on TV since.
If the rumor it ends up coming to fruition, then, I don't know. But I guess doesn't matter. They're getting paid time off. Maybe they're hanging out with Miro.
All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this, and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, what's up? I'm calling Ian. I'm calling from Toronto.
Yes, Ian.
Just wanted to say, man, big fan of the show. I just wanted to ask a question about Netflix and WWE Raw. Just wanted to say the 4 matches was like everybody's complaining about that. Do you think it should be 6 matches per? Try to aim for 6 matches per show. If it's a 3-hour show, like three long matches and 3 short matches. And that's all pretty much.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you very much for the call. So the thing with that, the thing with the first Raw is that's not going to be what 3 hours of Raw on Netflix is going to be. And Hunter flat out said that. He goes, next week, we're going to return to the way the show was, which is weekly episodic television. Their idea was that, okay, this is the debut. We are conceivably going to get a whole bunch of people that either are coming back or they've never watched wrestling. They turn on their Netflix and, oh my God, Raw's live. I'll watch this show.
They were celebrating themselves.
And so they wanted to do like a weird pay-per-view caliber show with, 4 big matches and then a bunch of stars coming back and this and that. And, I didn't think it was like a terrible show, but I would not have done that show for the very reason that a normal person is going to watch that show and go, I sat there for 3 hours and there's only 4 matches and there's no wrestling on this show.
There could be a lot of questions.
What is a person who doesn't watch? And, I will say one other thing, which is kind of the defense of them, okay? They did Saturday Night's Main Event, the debut of Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC. And they didn't do it like Netflix Raw. They did match, 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 boom, 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 boom. And it turns out, like, it didn't do that great a number.
They sold it on the old school.
I mean, but the point is, they did it totally differently from the Netflix Raw. Yeah. And it honestly didn't draw an audience. It didn't get people watching the show. It didn't bring people back. So I'm sure in their mind they thought, okay, well, we tried that. And now we got another big debut. Let's not do that. Let's do something different. And this is what they chose. And to me, the way they did it was not successful in terms of trying to get new fans back or create new fans. So, I mean, the big question is what number are they going to do this coming Monday? And if the number is similar to last week, then we can all just say we were wrong. It was a success. I don't think it's going to be a number similar to next week. I think it's going to be a number very similar to what they were doing before. So we shall see. Back in a moment, Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. So Brandon Thurston has the Dynamite ratings. I wish we'd got these at the beginning of the show. So the show did 615,000 viewers and a .17, okay?
All right.
Which is not great. And it is up a little bit it's up 5% in viewers and
hey, it's over 6.
But here's the thing, like it's up from a show that was on New Year's Day, and that was following a show that was on like Christmas Day or something like that. So it's not even fair to like look at the last 4 weeks. But the key here is that over the last 4 weeks it averaged a .18. This is a .17. So it's down 6% from the average over the last 4 weeks. Now, granted, the last 4 weeks were all holiday episodes, but the point is, the last 2 weeks have also aired on Max. So, unless less than 6% of the people watched on Max, they're probably doing more viewers now than they have been doing, even though the actual Nielsen numbers are not that impressive. So, I don't know what all of this means, but
it means nothing until we actually have concrete Max numbers.
Well, we're not going to get them.
But that's the whole thing.
But here's my point. The fact that the numbers are close to what they were doing before Max tells me that they're probably doing better now. Because I find it hard to believe that virtually nobody is watching the show on Max, because I hear every week from people to watch the show on Max.
Here's a fact. If the show is doing better and people start watching, we start seeing the numbers rising on TV, we know they're probably rising on Max too, and they just got to get both up, period.
That's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Mike, as always, callers and listeners over the studio. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.